Hey everybody, welcome to round 3 of me modifying this new train tunnel that goes underneath the campground. First off, I built it a little bit too large. I was building it upstairs and I was like, oh, I built it to 32 studs too long. Whoopsie. So then I deconstructed it, reduced it to the proper length, and I opened up 2 arches. Then I placed it and I was like, oh, well, maybe I should have opened up more arches so we can see the train pass through. And today in this video, I'm going to do just that. Train tunnel, woohoo! Okay, solid, 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 open arch, solid, solid, open, solid, solid. When I originally made the modifications, honestly, I forgot about this arch. So yeah, I think we're gonna come up with a better pattern there. The problem is when you open up these arches, then you can see inside and you can see like the supports. So if I'm gonna do an open arch system, I also need to build a back wall, which is gonna consume a ton of light gray brick. Build, destroy, repeat, am I right? Yeah, we're gonna deconstruct this wall, just pop that big green top off, which is all those 16 by 16 Technic panels, fully supported by the wall in front and also those uprights that are topped with the colorful bricks. And now we've just got to deconstruct pretty much the entire wall. Everything is pretty well interlocked, but luckily for me, the last time we did this, I cleared out 2 of the arches, so one of them is done for me. But yeah, it's pretty much got to all be rebuilt because some of the bricks actually go into those upright pillars, which support the arches, of course. All good though, just going to rebuild it with the light gray masonry bricks, whatever size of light gray bricks as well. Putting some modified bricks with the forward facing stud in there as well so that we can put some of the colorful vegetation on those solid panels as well. So I'm double checking my work here, making sure that we alternate so it goes solid, open, solid, open, solid, open, etc. just to make sure we actually get it right this time. But I actually do like this concept. There were a lot of people telling me different ways of doing it, have the first few open and then close off the backside. Some people were telling me to alternate it. Some people were saying, oh, just keep it solid. Keep it the way that you have it with only the 2 arches open. There's a lot of different things that we could do, but I think alternating it is definitely a good solution. So now that that's all rebuilt there, I got to come up with how I'm going to build the back wall. There's definitely a lot of different ways that we could do this. We could make it the light gray combination of masonry and also standard bricks with the forward facing studs and have vines creeping up, but that is going to consume a ton of brick. Yes, we freed up some brick by opening up some of these arches, but making a solid back wall is just like boggling my mind. I just think that is just going to be such a waste of pieces because the only time you're going to see it is when you peer through the open arches. So I came up with a different solution, and I've discussed this solution in the past. I just mounted plate up on its side. Luckily for me, those supports that are in there are actually topped with brick. So all I have to do is replace one of those bricks with a modified 1x2 brick with the forward facing stud. And of course, that's going to hold the 16 by 16 plates in place so that we have a back wall. And then I fill in the gap along the bottom there with some 1x plate and tile. I also tack them all together and I fill in another small gap on the side of the tunnel. So did I get it right? Do the open arches alternate? I think I did. Okay, good. Happy with that. Yeah, these are like solid chunks here. And yeah, I think alternating is good. You're gonna be able to see the train pass through. I had to fill in the back there. Decided to go with dark bluish gray because it's sort of built into a mountain. It's gonna be dark in there anyway. I was thinking light bluish gray originally, but I don't have any more of the 16 by 16s. I guess I could go take something apart, but I think it's going to work with the dark bluish gray. That's going to work not too bad. I like having the studs forward facing as well because we could put vegetation creeping up the side and creeping along in there. Another thing that we could do is actually use dots art, quarter round tiles, pretty much any type of tile, and we could create graffiti within the interior of the train tunnel. What would you rather see, a full wall of graffiti or just some vegetation creeping up the sidewall there? Let me know. You can see I decided to fill in the gap on the bottom because the modified brick with the forward-facing studs is actually the second brick down, so it's that one right there. So there's a little bit of a gap on the bottom, which equated to 1 plate and one tile that filled in the bottom there. Then I decided to tack them all together with a row of 1x tile all the way along the side, so that tacks all the plates together, and it also just matches up better with the row of plate and tile that we did on the bottom there. And I created this little filler that works in the same sort of principle. And I put a tile on the side of that so that it matches up with that wall there. There might be a small gap or whatever, but it's nothing major. You're not going to be able to see that when this is all sheltered by the panel above. And you can just see that these are held in place by those forward-facing studs on the pillars. Now, I got the idea for the graffiti from an old school thing in the Lego City, okay? I've been stowing these away for a very long time. A lot of people sent us graffiti art panels, and we also built a bunch of them, and we could actually reuse a lot of this here on that back train wall. I've been stowing this away because I knew I wanted to use it somewhere eventually, and maybe we can put this on the back wall. Would it look too colorful and maybe not look good? Would it take away from it? Would just vegetation look better? I'm not too sure, but I think I have a couple drawers full of it. So yeah, we've been holding on to this for a long time. This used to be like the train wall, and like the wall along the train track. So yeah, we've got it all just tucked away here. I guess I can recycle some of these empty ones. It's a bunch of 4x6 plate that we could probably use. There's all sorts of cool stuff in this cart, such as coral reef for the underwater area that we have yet to construct, and also a bunch of sea life. Yeah, I like this cart. It's just tucked underneath the stairs here. All right, the train track's all reconnected there. Tunnel's put back in place. We got the wall, and I think the wall looks great from afar. Can't see those supports. I think the dark bluish gray works out nicely. Couple other things we need to take care of here. We need to blend in the height difference along the road there, and also the difference between the two platform coverings. And we need to transition this light bluish gray a little bit better, because we got the high ground, the low ground, and they're not joined at all. So yeah, we need to fix that up as well. I guess the supporting pillar should have been light gray, or the wall should have been extended one more stud because it needs to support the 16x16 Technic panel. But look at that. You can see the color and there's a little bit of a gap there. So I should extend it one more stud just because there's a little bit of gap happening within like the tables and within the modules. It's hard to get it 100% precise when you're dealing with 1,000 baseplate city. I'll have to find a way to throw one more snot brick in this tunnel just like I did with my other one, so that this is more snug up against the light bluish gray brick there. But I have a feeling this train is really going to like this new tunnel. Our upgraded platform covering, there you go, it passes through. Thank you so much for the suggestions. I think the alternating open spots look great. I just need to get around to finishing all the ballasting, so when you look through there you see the ballast train track. But I think the back wall does a great job of concealing the support work, and I think that looks good. Now, there was the height difference there, so I just blended that in with two 2x3 slopes. And you'll see there's a plate underneath, a plate in the midsection there, and then a tile on top, and that lines up with that platform covering there, so that is pretty satisfying. And then this is all blended in just using our standard green sort of staircase effect technique with all the colorful stuff underneath. And then it's blended in somewhat with the cheese slopes and slopes in green, light gray, and dark gray. And under here, we had to modify this, so shorten it from 6 studs to 5 studs, that being the little filler that hides the Technic plate. And we had to remove one of the arches from here. And because we removed that arch and found an additional one, we were able to do the part substitutions over here, because one was black and one was brown. It didn't look that good, so that's all taken care of now. We will be adding more detail up top here. There's going to be more blending, more vegetation, trails, campsites, and all that, but we'll get around to doing that when we actually develop the campground, which I think is the next phase of construction for this project. So that is definitely pretty exciting. I'm glad that I was able to just get this blended in though, because that didn't look too good. If we were working on this, we may as well do it right. And here we go, high-speed passenger train passing through the tunnel. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. And have yourselves a fantastic day. Bye for now.